there a sidewalk on this side?
On the right side of the road. On this side?
Mm-hmm. No.
No.
No, not along the road?
I don't see one.
Alright. Alright. Bye.
I don't see you yet. Alright. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. What's up, YouTubia? We're in Lynn Haven, Florida. They go pay for some body camera videos. There's a bunch of people out because of the roading, I guess they have, and pulling up. This is just a self signs for Brian Gray from the Vet Center, featured in a video on the channel. He denied me service. He's the one that said that he wouldn't be on a YouTube video. That's Brian Gray of Lynn Haven, Florida, running for some kind of position here. So across the street is they're rebuilding the city hall, and they've been in these temporary buildings for a few years, I guess, since Hurricane Michael hit several years ago. Swamp. The first building on the left was a city hall. Second building here is police department. Whew. Not even ground. So these things, I'm fairly certain these things are not ADA compliant because I just got caught up on them. You gotta have something down below so you don't get caught up like that. Cane will hit it. Yeah. Hi. I'm gonna pay for some police body camera videos. Huh? It's for the 4 body camera videos from March 7th at the Vet Center. I think they said it would be $23 if I provided the DVD. So I've got a DVD I can leave as well. Unless you guys do hard drives. You guys do hard drives? I have a thumb drive.
I think they can do it on either one.
Okay. So I've got,
Same
yeah, I've got a thumb drive or a disc. It just really depends on.
How big is this?
Should be plenty.
Oh, should be.
Yeah.
Let me go find out
Okay.
and make sure to see which one you can do. Hang on 1 second.
Cool.
Did these guys assault you?
Did they assault me? No, no, not assault. They did unlawfully trespass me from the vet center
Oh.
on March
There
7th.
tends to be a pattern with the police department around here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make some calls because I've heard too much about this department.
Yeah. No, I visited. I'm a veteran. I went to the vet center for service on March 7th.
Yeah.
And the vet center staff, which includes Brian Gray, evidently I didn't know that he's running for office here. They denied me service and then called the police. But it's the VA's federal, so like they don't have jurisdiction there. But they showed up and like the lady literally stole my equipment that's issued by the VA.
Really?
And, yeah, and they didn't cite her, arrest her, and said they conspired with her to trespass me out of the VA. So yeah, I'm trying to get the body cam for it right now. Yeah.
Okay, he's not back there.
Okay.
I know they had something.
Well, I'll just leave a disc then.
Okay.
So there's the DVD. And then I'll put this back in my bag.
Okay, they told you it was 23.
Yeah, it said it'd be 30 if I didn't produce the medium.
Right.
And it would be 23 if I did. So.
3-7 or 4-7? It was 3-7, right?
March 7th. Yeah, March 7th.
I can put you in. He's not in the office right now. You want to pay for it now or?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave. I got cash here.
$23.
Do you have a container?
No.
No? Okay.
Anywhere to put all that change.
All right.
No.
There you go. Dropped a few. That's fine. Just let me know if I left any. One on the ground. Okay. I got one more. All right. You guys can double check. All right. Thanks, guys. All right. I'll come back. Just email me whenever it's ready. And then.
If this is the correct amount, yeah.
Yeah. You just let me know what the total is if I'm over or under, and then I'll get the receipt whenever when I pick up the video.
We'll let you know.
Great. And your name?
Alice.
Alice. All right. Thanks, Alice.
You're welcome.
Have a good one. She was like, no. Well, Alice, don't work for tyrants. Get a job producing something. Screw a job. That's a slave wage. Just produce something. Share your creativity, Alice. with the world, create content. Speaking of, there is a uh, adventure channel that we've got going on called Blind Ventures. If you're interested in that, you can check that out on YouTube. I'm gonna come talk to people over here, possibly at City Hall. Find out how that's going. Hello.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, good. How can we help you today, sir?
Whoever's in charge of public records, I talked to them.
Public records?
Public records, yeah.
Yes. Yes, she.
Cool. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Hey, Uncle Monkey. Hey, many thanks. So for the footage, they said it'd be $23 for the 4 videos because they had 4 officers that showed up. $30 if you didn't provide like a DVD, which we provided a DVD, so should be should be $23. Many thanks. No, I haven't talked back to the well, I haven't called the patient advocate back yet. Hey, what's up, crew killer? Well, that's why I asked her if she had a container. She said no, so I'm like, well, I gotta leave this somewhere somehow. Yeah, I'll get the receipt of payment whenever I pick up um the videos. For penny per pound. It's more like um, 20 to 30 pounds.
CJ is here in front of you.
Okay.
And she will
Hi.
help you out with that.
All right.
I'm CJ.
Okay. Hey.
What may I help you with?
Yeah, just public records request.
Would it be better for you if you come through and sit down at the conference table in the room there so we
It's up to you. Whatever easier for you. It's not
oh,
it's just one request I think I have.
okay. Well, whatever's easier for you, I don't mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how can I help you? Let's start.
Yeah. I just want a copy of the city's policy on public records. City may not have a policy on
In
public
general,
records.
on
Yeah,
public-
like any written policy that the city has on public records.
We
Like,
have one, we follow the Florida statutes, so they'll be easy enough to get through to you.
Yeah.
Do you want to sit and wait for it?
no, email address would be fine if you just email it. Yeah.
I can email that to you. Do you want to let me have your email address? Or
It's insightisfree.
INSIGHT
Yep.
is free all one word
Yep. Insightisfree at Gmail.
at gmail.com.
Yep.
a link to.
Whatever's easier. Like if you've already got it posted online, a link would be fine. If it's not posted online, then just an attachment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we probably won't have it posted online. We'd have a link to the Florida statute that we follow.
Uh,
Because we would definitely be following.
Okay, yeah, I'm not asking for the Florida statute. I
Well,
already.
that's what we follow. That is our policy.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I would argue that the city isn't following it in some aspects, and you guys don't have to have a specific policy for the city, right?
No,
Um,
no, we follow the Florida statute. So
Right. Well,
we-
what I'm saying is you don't have to have one written down. Like you may have one written down, and
No.
if you do, that's what I want a copy of.
No, we won't, because we won't have a separate public records policy, because we follow the statute of Florida. That is the policy we follow. So if there's
Well-
ever anything called into question
Mhm.
that we're doing that might be wrong,
Yeah.
we get that interpreted by our attorney.
Yeah.
And we get his guidance
Yeah.
on that.
Well, so like the police department,
Yeah.
right? They're sworn to uphold the Constitution, right, and the state laws,
Yeah.
right? So, but the police department still has a huge handbook for policies,
That's for the personnel policies,
Yeah.
I'm assuming?
Mhm.
Yes.
right? So it's similar to that.
we'll
Like,
have
so you guys
personnel
can
policies as well.
add too. Like it's right. Well, you can give more guidance to your city and personnel on how you guys process things. It doesn't have to be anything special or unique. It could literally copied and paste out of the state. You're not required to have your own policy. Like I think we understand that, but you may have one. There may be one written down. I'm being told that there is a policy.
I'll have a double check.
Yeah.
I am the person who does the public reports.
Okay.
I haven't seen one because I refer directly to the Florida statutes if I ever have any questions
Right.
about whether I'm doing something right
Okay.
or wrong. However, having said that, there may be one on file. So
Sure.
I will have a
Yeah.
look.
And it may be with the police department because Dutton at the police department.
I don't actually have anything to do with the public records requests for the Lynn Police Department. They deal with their own public records
Okay.
because of their entity and the confidentiality around the residents
Okay.
and the records they
That's
maintain
fine.
about the residents.
Well, then, yeah, if you would communicate.
So you want a similar thing from them as well?
Well, I mean, I'm asking for all of the city of Lynn Haven. So every department, doesn't matter if it's the police department, public works department. Like, I understand that you're saying that you may not have specific oversight in all the public records the police department has, but but you can still communicate to those departments and find out.
The other departments will fall under us, so that's fine. But
Sure.
the police department has their own super one because of confidential
Yeah.
resident.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. So the way that the
you
Sunshine
want
Act works is anybody can make a records request to anybody that works for the city, right? Or it doesn't have to be the city, any public entity.
Correct.
Yeah,
right.
I could have made it to this person over here. Could have taken my public records
And
request.
he would have taken your request and forwarded it on to the person.
Sure,
That's what
exactly.
I'm
So the same
saying.
thing,
Yeah.
same thing here. Like, so if you're not the custodian of the records for the police
I
department,
can
then
put that,
right,
as I said, I can put that request in for you.
right,
Um,
yeah.
on
So
your behalf.
because Dutton has said that there is a policy about how much they
So
charge.
you've spoken with Dutton about that.
Yeah. So whether that's a written policy or just a practice that they have, the verbal policy, I want whatever record you guys have.
Okay.
He referenced the
I think
policy.
what he's referring to, and it's probably something that I'd refer to as well, is our actual public records request application form has got it all outlined in there in terms of the rates.
Yeah,
So
that may
it's
be.
available online.
Sure.
So, but I can download that
Yeah.
for you. And I'm wondering, is that something that you'd want created in a special way that is
No,
accessible to you?
Yeah,
Or
you shouldn't
something
have to. You shouldn't have to create it. You should.
That's correct.
Ideally, it's already saved and uploaded in that
Yep.
accessible format, but most documents aren't. Like so,
No.
so you may have to convert it to an accessible format. And
That's what I'm.
yeah, you can. I mean, you can
Yes,
email me and
yes,
then
what
and I'll
you would
communicate. Yeah, like if it's not readable, I'll let you know.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah.
I'll send you what I want. If you want it changed or
Yep.
made accessible, then you put that request.
Sounds good.
Additionally.
Yep. And then I guess I've asked for a visual interpreter for meetings, and I'm still waiting on the city to get back to me on that. They keep telling me it's a 21 day, it has to be 21 days out, which is not reasonable. I don't think a single court in the nation would say that a person making a disability request gets turned around and says you have to do it 21 days in advance. It would definitely not meet the reasonableness standard. That being said, the city hasn't produced one for both the last two meetings, so I'm asking for the next meeting, which is like 2 weeks out, right? Should be plenty of time for you guys to provide a visual interpreter for the next meeting.
You not had a response from our attorney?
There was an
In
email
that
from
regard?
a guy named Kevin.
Kevin, city attorney.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
I think he's been dealing with that request. And
Yeah, and I responded to Kevin pretty much the same thing I'm telling you, that the 21 days is not a reasonable standard. Like,
and did he get back to you on
not
the
yet.
response?
Mm-mm, no.
All right. I'll check with him where he is with that.
Yeah. And is there any? You guys don't call them aldermen or council people. You call them what? Commissioners here?
Commissioners.
Yeah. Are any of them in today?
No, and they don't typically work from here.
Okay.
This is the admin building. They
Yeah.
have their own.
What about Jesse Nelson? Is he in?
He's probably out at the what do they call those big tents?
Oh yeah, there's voting on today.
Yes.
All right.
They're voting since the 10th,
Okay.
and so they've got their tents.
All right.
The candidate tents.
Well,
So,
yeah, maybe I'll try to find him and ask
so I think
about.
they're all probably out there.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get the this issue of public records on the agenda for a meeting for the commissioners to discuss and for the people to discuss and get input from the community
Okay.
regarding fees in particular. So.
Then that might be your best avenues to chat to him about and see if he's.
All right. And it was CJ?
CJ, correct.
All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thanks for getting him. Lock door. All right, people. I'm gonna put this bucket up. Maybe go grab a sign. You guys can find me at Brian Gray. See if he's hiding around, since apparently they're not working at the vet center still. Or if they are, the doors are still closed, locked. Smash it. This is just as I'm coming to swap out a bucket for a sign. Hi.
I got it out, right?
Trade me?
Yeah.
Which way? Like this?
That's upside down.
All right. You want to show?
Oh.
Show the world your lovely art?
I can't see if it's in frame, so we'll just go with it.
There you go, people.
All right.
Like this? All right.
Yeah, can you tilt the camera?
Yeah, am I angled weird?
Yeah.
Is it more to the ground?
No, toward the sky a little bit.
Oh, but I was angled more to the ground?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All right. Where are the...
The campaign
Yeah.
booths are across the street forward.
All right. Do you see Brian anywhere? Or...
His is literally directly across the street, but he's not there.
Okay. What about the mayor? All right. Commissioners? Is there a sidewalk over here? All right. Yeah. Right on. Yeah, thanks. How's it going? Where are you guys out promoting today? What is it? Mayor Jackson. All right. Vote. It's early voting, right? Till tomorrow. Where do people go to do the voting? Is that the building that the city meetings are usually? Okay. Okay. Cool. Does does Mayor Jackson have a platform or a website where people can find and? Okay. Continuing what? Who's the current mayor? Who's the current Mayor Nelson is? So is it just those two candidates then? Jackson and Nelson? Oh. Okay. So all right. So the incumbent is Nelson, and he's running against. I didn't get the last name. Tinder? Judy? Judy Tinder. Okay. All right. And has she been in office? Or okay. Usually that kind of happens. They kind of work their way into it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So if you, well, so are you guys just volunteers for voting, or are you? Okay. Are you here for a particular candidate, or? Okay. What are you running for? Man, the weather report today said it's supposed to be raining all day, but I think, well, it dumped this morning, but I think this wind just blew it all away. Yeah. Oh, you're holding down the phone. Literally. Yeah. Yeah. All right. What's the difference between the mayoral candidates? If you guys could summarize, like, yeah, like, are there any distinct differences, like that they're running on a different platform than each other? Oh, okay. Was there a special election for that? Was that when the old mayor got kicked out from? Okay. So that's a rough spot to come into. Like, yeah, yeah. Did you guys? Because I heard a commissioner meeting back in end of February where he silenced a public speaker. Well, yeah, talk about flying spaghetti monsters. I think she was trying to point out that there's still some corruption with the city, and the mayor shut that down, which makes him look bad. I think he openly said that he was violating the First Amendment right. So that's not a good look. You know if he's done anything to fix that? Yeah. Right. Yeah, her time was just barely started. Yeah. He interrupted her, and the actual chief of police came and took the microphone from her. Yeah, it's on YouTube. So I mean, that's one of the cool things is that the city like live streams its meeting to YouTube.
Yeah, a lot of things on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't watch.
Do you guys? I heard Brian Gray's running for commissioner. I don't guess you. All right. And so what's your name? Joe Brown. Okay. Well, I've got people that have been watching some stuff going on at the vet center down the road, where they denied me service and called the local police here. And the local police they don't have jurisdiction at the VA because it's federal, but they worked at the local vet center to have me trespass. So that's a problem. And then when I went to try to get service again, Brian Gray refused me service. So everybody has seen that just recently. That happened last week. But he's not out here today?
No, he hasn't been here so far today.
All right.
I've been here since 8 o'clock. He hasn't been here since.
Joe's putting in the work, but Brian's absent. That's the message today? That's the story?
I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, all right.
But it quit raining out here.
Any other commissioners or any hopefuls? Anybody that's on the ballot besides you out here today?
Two people that work on the mayor race. He's not agreeing.
Okay. Vandergrift? Okay.
Been here. She had to leave to go to a doctor's appointment or something.
How many are incumbents, like rerunning? Okay. Vandergrift? He's incumbent? Ah. Okay. So one is checking out, stepping down, and that seat's open, and it's between you and Brian.
Brian Gray and Sam Peter.
Oh, is there a third? Okay.
3 and I or so.
It's just two? Yeah. Do you guys,
Yeah, Mr. Walker's there.
is he for commissioner? Okay. So is it just commissioners and then mayor, or the other, that's it? So a total of 5 then, right?
Three commissioner seats and the mayor.
Okay, 3 commission seats and the mayor. So four different spots.
Nobody else is elected. The only elected
All right.
commission we have
Oh, so just the last seat on the commission.
One seat on the commission. It's not a.
Gotcha. All right. So tomorrow's the last day for early voting, and then when is the regular voting? Next Tuesday, and is it just Tuesday only? All right. Official polling day. Is that, it's like statewide, or is that just local? It's local? All right.
Some municipals had theirs this week.
Yeah. How long are the terms? For everybody, mayor and commission? Okay. All right. Well, thanks. You guys have been informative. Mike. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Army. Okay. All right. 75-77. No, I think that was right before I came out on the scene. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So they said there's one. How many are on the left? How many tents? There's 2 over here, and then there's 1 down on the right, or 2. But they're actually manned. So, all right. So Vandergrift's down this way, and then you said, and that's Tinder, right? All right. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'll check out this side first. Thank you, guys. it's back on, right? He was going a little nuts on go out. There we go. Got the anybody on this? Somebody on my right, messing with something metal. Officer safety, what's up? Pepperoni audits, what's up? Empty, empty middle. Just one on the right. So, somebody over here for a campaign? Are you part of a campaign?
Part of it, yep.
Yeah. Which campaign?
Judy Vandergrift.
Vandergrift.
Yep.
And Judy's running for one of the commission seats.
Number 4.
Number 4. Is she an incumbent or is she?
Well, she was appointed, so I guess she's.
Okay, so she's trying to get the seat again.
Yeah, she was appointed for the last 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Did somebody like step down or?
Yeah. Judy Tender stepped down.
Okay, and she's running for mayor,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So is Judy here?
No.
No.
She has had a doctor's appointment, so she had to go to that. So I'm manning the post.
All right.
At this particular time right now.
Has it been busy?
No.
No.
No. I mean, as far as the Bible, maybe had all day, maybe 2 or 3 cars that stop and ask.
Yeah. If you had to give me a elevator ride sales pitch for Judy, what would it be?
She's honest, she's hardworking, and she says she's going to do something, she'll do it.
Okay. Will she look into some reform with the police department?
Reform?
Reform, yeah.
What does that mean?
Like changing some policies and getting some more transparency?
Yeah, definitely transparency on everything.
Okay. Because they're putting a monetary barrier to get like public records, like body camera and stuff like that. There's no requirement under Florida law to charge for it because the people already pay for the cameras. They already pay for the where the video footage is stored on the server. They already pay for the people to do the work, right? It's already coming out of the taxpayers' purse, right?
Okay.
But you try to get records from the police department, they have an automatic fee they charge people, like as a barrier, so people can't get access to the records that they're already paying for.
Well, that sounds like a school board. She was assistant superintendent of the schools.
Yeah.
And when we had to run again to get things, we had to pay out of the nose to get stuff that
Public records. Yeah. Like we're already paying to keep these records.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah. So the Florida Sunshine Act is a public records law, and it doesn't require municipalities to charge. It makes an allowance for charging, like if it's like a bunch of extra work, like to do it, and simply pulling a body camera isn't too much work.
Yeah. I remember at the school board they actually had a person, if I'm not mistaken, that actually did that, but the school board charged $25 an hour.
Wow.
To do that.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah, that's about what they're charging here. It's about $23 an hour plus the disc. They're charging $7 for one disc.
That's
so.
Almost like double taxation.
Yeah, exactly. So like, that's something that if you can talk to her. I'm trying to get it on for the commissioners to discuss it in a meeting so that they can get public comment about it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we need to do that. Like the public's already paying for it. We're already paying for the records. They're public records. Let the public have them. Hello. But yeah, that's my big thing. There's that, and then what's the chief's name? Ramey. uh, he said he doesn't. His officers don't need any more training or about knowledge about the law, like case law, and because they responded to a call at the vet center down the road on Minnesota Avenue when I went to go get service on March 7th, and this lady on here, her name's Sims, S Sims. She stole my prosthetic equipment, my devices that are issued by the blind rehab. Like literally, it says just assisted device, don't touch on it. She stole it from me, and
Really?
and then called LHPD. They showed up, and they didn't cite her, even though she still didn't return my property. They had to recover my property to get it back to me. They didn't cite her with anything, and instead conspired with her to trespass me and deny me service. And so I tried to complain to the chief. And I'm like, hey man, like one, do you guys even have jurisdiction on this federal property? Like, whenever the federal government rents property like that, it's de facto federal property. And he said they don't have a written memorandum of understanding for jurisdiction with the federal government. I'm like, okay. Well, I mean, then your response to calls is just like if you were walking by and you heard shots fired and you can go in to stop them, right? Or if you have a loved one that works there and they say, hey, I need your help. Like anybody can respond to somebody in distress, right? That's not special to police, But they don't have police powers to trespass people, which is what they did to me. And I was like, I've got the case law I can send to you and show you that you guys can't do this stuff. And he's like, no, we don't need to know that. My guys have training. And I'm like, but what they told me specifically was whenever they get a call, and they invoked the chief's name because they both the sergeant and the officer said whenever they get a call, the chief's policy is we just trespass. If somebody calls and says we want this person to trespass, we do it. I'm like, regardless of the law, like because the law says otherwise. And so that's as far as I know, he's not doing anything about that. So that's one of the issues. If you can pass on to Judy.
Okay.
Is this Judy here?
No.
No. Okay. Hi. All right. But yeah, those are the two things that the public records.
She'll be back
Okay.
later this afternoon because she went to a doctor's appointment and she told us that she would be, from
Yeah.
well, actually it was supposed to be 9, but we went from 10 to 12, and then after the appointment from 2 to 4.
Okay.
She'll be back.
Busy.
Be gone.
All right. Yeah. If you want to pass that on, I don't know if I'll be back up this way. I might go.
And we'll be here tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the last day for early, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
And we'll be here.
Has anybody come in since I left the mayor's? Is there anybody else between me and the mayor's tent?
No, that's simply.
Okay, so I'm gonna go past the mayor's tent. There's another. Was it Tinder, right? Running for mayor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Judy's down. We're not in.
All right. Do they still have people down there?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Well, that's not what she was.
All right. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Is this different than this is different tent than the Mayor Nelson's tent, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm Ellen Field.
Okay. Are you volunteer or are you one of the candidates?
No, I'm the candidate.
Okay.
Ellen Field's running for seat 4. I'm actually running against Lynn and Judy Kemper.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Are you an incumbent or are you? Is this your?
She's the incumbent.
She's the incumbent.
I'm the running against.
You're trying to kick her off the seat.
Well, not really. She actually just got elected, not elected,
Appointed.
last month.
Yeah. And now she's trying.
Right.
Yeah, she's doing that because the other seat was
Yeah.
the other Judy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually the one running originally.
It's like a
for
shell
mayor.
game.
Yeah. And I
Yeah. Okay. You were running for mayor
was running for mayor.
and then you switched to.
Judy decided to run for mayor.
Uh-huh.
So I said, well, you're running for the seat 4. I'll run for that seat 4.
Yeah.
So I put my name in, and then about 2 weeks later, they appointed Ms. Vandergrift.
Okay.
Running against each other.
All right. Is there anything that sets you apart from your opponent?
Well, I think a lot of things.
Give me the elevator speech. Like if you and I met in the elevator, what's the difference?
I know that she's been doing this community longer, but I go to more meetings, I pay attention more, and I also happen to know what's coming up with sewage and annexing and lots of legal
Uh-huh.
that she probably doesn't have that in her background, but I do.
Okay.
In regards to a lot of situations. So I think I have the edge on that. I do know how to do budgets. I'm very good with money. I worked on Wall Street, my very first job out of college.
Okay.
so to speak. But I'm also a very, they call me a solutioneer in my family. I was brought up by an engineer,
Uh-huh.
my dad, and my mother was a university professor.
Okay.
So I possess skills, skills that you don't even know about.
All right.
Right? That's why I think I have it over her. I do think that she would, that she will do a good job. I just think that I can do a better job.
Okay.
And I'm more hands-on.
Are you familiar with the Sunshine Act?
I sure am.
Do you happen to know the city's policy regarding public records?
Well, I don't agree with their policy right now.
Uh-huh.
I think that they should be made more accessible. I'm also one of those people that when I just from participating in meetings, when I request information, they give me the runaround and charge
Yeah.
me $82 and
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Right.
And that's something I'd like to make a change
Yeah.
and make people, have free access. Or if it's excessive, say, okay, you're allowed to have X amount of pages.
Yeah.
Then after that, pay.
Right.
And if they don't give you what you requested, it should be zero charge because
Right.
I tell you, I've gotten ripped off many a time trying
Yep.
to find an answer to something and they blow me off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is one of my
I emailed the mayor and all the seating commissioners regarding this issue, trying to get it on the agenda for the public to be heard about it and for them to discuss it. And only the mayor responded, and he basically said, he kind of blew me off. He basically said that the city attorney addressed it in a public meeting when I spoke in the public meeting about it, which the issue just to have it on the agenda to talk about fees, and then and like just what policy, if there is a written policy. I just did a records request today to find out if there actually is a written policy, because right now I'm getting just stuff from different staff.
Right, the written policy is right that you have to pay. Some people don't. If you're a commissioner, you don't, and you can obtain information.
Yeah.
But it should be made accessible to the public.
They're public records, right? Supposedly, like that means that the public owns them.
Yes.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to pay for it twice. Yeah.
So, right, we've already paid for those records. Now
Yeah.
make them available online. If
Yeah.
it's a hardship getting them online, then you have to pay.
Yeah.
If a small fee, understood, but not the excessive fees
Right.
that they're charging.
Yeah. So I asked for body camera footage from May 7th. I went to the vet center down the road, and the lady depicted on this. Her name is September Sim. She stole my VA issued equipment, and then she called the Lynn Police Department on me. They showed up. They don't have jurisdiction there because it's federal.
Right, right.
And yeah. So they should have just said, hey, there's no crime here. We can't do anything because basically what they can do is no different than what you or I could do. If we were walking by and we heard somebody smashing windows or shooting, we could run in and try to help. And that's the same, basically the same powers or jurisdiction that they have.
So basically what you're saying is at the VA,
Mhm.
somebody erred and made a mistake.
Well, they committed a crime. She stole my property from me,
Yes.
and the local police showed up. They recovered it and gave it back to me, which I'm grateful for that.
That's what I was going to say.
But then they
should have recovered
didn't cite her because one, they don't have jurisdiction. Although they invoked and said that they do. The sergeant Hamilton said he has jurisdiction wherever he goes, which is just horrifying.
Why would it have been located by the sheriff? I thought the sheriff.
Or the federal police. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where were you?
The one on Minnesota Avenue.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
actually right around the corner from me.
Yeah.
Isn't that legally Panama City address?
The address is Panama City. Well, technically they should have called like VA police or Federal Protective Services. Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of different things.
Yeah.
That lady said, hold on.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just bear with me.
Yeah.
There's many ways that you can handle
Yeah.
that situation.
But they showed up, 4 of them, like in force, and then they conspired with her to trespass me. So they criminally trespassed me without jurisdiction. And when I talked to Ramey about it the next day, he said, "No, they didn't trespass you." I'm like, "No, man, like they're on video saying you're trespassed. If you come back, you'll be arrested." I'm like,
Well,
and so
you know what?
Yeah.
She's an employee. They are not allowed to touch you unless they're a doctor giving you an exam.
Sure, like with consent. Yeah.
Right, consent. Was she a doctor giving you
No,
an exam?
no, I just got in there maybe 5 seconds and was talking to the lady at the front desk, and this lady came in off the street, and
I bet you right now she is in a class right now learning the process.
well, she needs to be fired. But that's not the issue for the city is the police training, because they don't have the proper training. They don't know about trespass law. None of the 4 officers knew anything about what implied consent means with regards to trespass.
And what shocks me is
Yeah.
and what they're allowed to do and not allowed to do. So
I offered Ramey. I mean, we had a talk on the phone. I offered him. I told him I can email him the case law for Florida and for the 11th Circuit regarding trespass. Um, and he said, no, we don't need that. My officers have training. I'm like, well, then they need more training because clearly they violated my rights on March 7th, and he's just saying it didn't happen. He's like, no, you weren't trespassed. Like, so
first of all, what's your name again?
Mike,
Mike.
yeah.
I'm Ellen. Mike, when they trespassed your rights, did you report it to who? Besides the police.
To Ramey, like directly to Ramey, and then I. Oh yeah, all the way up the channel. I've been talking to like the Congress, like the Senator, what is it? Tester. He's over the Senate Commission on over the Veterans Affairs, and between him and everybody up and down the chain, like so that's an issue. So there's two issues, right? It's the VA staff and the Lynn Haven Police Departments, and so you guys, like if you are coming in on as commissioners, need to be aware this is what the current police department is doing. Ramey is basically saying nothing happened, even though there's video evidence that it happened, and he's refusing to train and retrain these officers with the case law.
I need to stop you right there in this conversation. When you say Chief Ramey and Ellen Fields in the same sentence, I don't know if you know. He absolutely despises me. He's a woman hater.
Okay.
So he hates my teacher too. He goes after us for certain things because we disagree with him.
Was he,
I've never done anything wrong.
yeah, I don't know the whole story. I know there was a scandal recently with him, stepping in on social media with somebody. Oh, that was you. Okay. Yeah. So maybe that's something that you guys can bring up, and I'm happy to sit down and talk with anybody about it and provide evidence and the case law on the issues regarding trespass.
Can I give you some advice about this?
Sure.
And this is just like off the record. This is just what I would do. This is what I did. Have you contacted the FDLE contest?
And what is that?
Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
No, I don't think we have.
Okay, no. So I asked who you contacted.
Okay.
One place, and you need to specifically cite Chief Ramey.
Yeah.
You know, any of the officers. So you send a message to them, FDLE. You can go look online. Send a complaint to them. This is what happened. Give the details, date and time. Short and simple. Then cite what Chief Ramey did. Okay, and then they will investigate.
Yeah, a few of the officers said that, and they invoked.
They will investigate.
Yeah, well, the Lynn Haven officers invoked their chief. They invoked Ramey's policy regarding trespass. They said if we get a call for trespass, it doesn't matter. We trespass. And I'm like, well, that's not actually how the law works. You have to do an investigation. Like just because, I mean, like right here, this is probably within the easement. I don't know what property this is, like if it's a city or not, but if I'd stepped a few more feet towards the road, I'd be within the easement, and so you can't trespass me from public property unless I'm committing a crime, and because you have the implied consent to be there, and the VA is public property, and I was there for services, and so yeah, they just
If there's one avenue that will shake the tree, it's the
FDLE, Florida Department of Law. All right, thank you, Ellen. Yeah, well, what's that? Yeah, currently. So.
If you live in Lynn Haven and you don't, I would go home and do that immediately. The sooner you do it, the better.
Okay.
Let them open the investigation because they will literally do it today.
All right.
Get after it. I'm here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tuesday. If you need any help or anything,
all right.
let me know.
All right. Cool.
Okay. Go from there.
All right. Thank you.
I wish you good luck on that one.
Yeah. All right.
Nice talking to you, Mike.
Yeah. Likewise. Man, this wind is probably horrible for you guys. My apologies. It's not what the doctor ordered. Makes it difficult for this amazing sign as well. Hello. I'm all right. How are you? Not too bad. You guys volunteers for the campaign?
We're running for the campaign.
Oh, okay, we have candidates here. How many? Which?
Two candidates.
Two candidates. Okay, which ones?
Rich Walker,
Rich Walker,
seat number 2.
number 2. Yeah.
Judy Tinder.
And Judy Tinder.
Yeah.
Are you guys running against each other?
No.
Oh, okay.
She's mayor, I'm commissioner.
Oh, mayor. Okay, so you're going against the incumbent. All right. Jesse Nelson. And are you going against incumbent, or is your seat just between?
No.
Incumbent, yeah.
Okay.
He's an incumbent.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll go one at a time. Rich, what's if you had to give me a elevator pitch? If you and I walked in the elevator together and you're like, "Hey, I'm Rich Walker. Tell me what the people need to know about you."
You don't have enough time in the day to know about him.
Well, that's why I asked for the elevator pitch. Give me the
The elevator is a short elevator.
Yeah, it's a short elevator. Yeah.
Well, the basic thing is in the bio, what we put on the payroll is just married, 56 years, same lady, started with one child. He's a government employee. I'm a previous government employee, 37 years overseas for the Department of State, embassies overseas. Returned back to the United States, decided to pay back to America for what they did to me when I was overseas and paid my salary. So I've been doing that. I'm volunteering a lot, in charge of a lot of programs dealing with the preservation of the historical buildings in Lynn Haven. And I run for office. About that.
Okay. Now, do I detect a New York accent?
You got it right on the nose. Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn. How long you been down here?
This time I'm down here living in Lynn Haven 20 years.
20 years. All right.
Hey
I
there.
retired in 1993
Yeah.
for the first time, second time in 2002 and came here.
Yeah.
I started a company down here, which is still in operation in Southport.
Yeah.
And went back to Washington and retired, and then came back and stayed here.
All right.
That's it.
Is this preferable? Do you prefer it down here?
Do I prefer it down here? Yes.
Yeah.
Except at certain times, because the politics in this town,
Yeah.
then things are changing, which you observed, and I don't like that. That's why I'm running for office.
That's why you're running. What is it you want to change?
What do I want to change?
Yeah.
I want to change the way they treat their citizens here.
Okay.
I don't like it. They haven't. They've gone from a small town environment where they're here to serve and protect to a big city. I was born in Brooklyn. I know what a big city.
Oh
I
yeah.
know what a big city is like.
Yeah.
That's why I left.
Okay.
You should find
Overseas.
go ahead, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, you should find a constitutional attorney, man,
Yeah.
for that kind of shit.
I'm working on it. It's
Yeah.
hard. They're hard to find, especially ones that want to sue like municipalities. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody in the
Typically,
got some balls.
typically you got to find them like out of state or far enough on the
Yeah.
other side of the state because
Yeah.
Right.
they don't want to, they don't want to poop where they eat.
There's a lady in Tallahassee, but
Yes.
I'm sure she's got her hands full.
Yeah.
I believe nobody else wants to, sue municipalities because it actually protects,
Everybody.
the police department
Yeah.
when they do right.
Well, so that's
They
it's part of the
don't get
10th
shot.
Amendment, right? The
Yeah.
10th Amendment is like any powers that the federal government doesn't have, it's supposed to be delineated to the states
Yeah.
and the people. Like the last little phrase we forget about.
Yeah.
We forget and the people part.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not just state power. No, like the people are supposed to hold government accountable. Like that's our job, right?
Yeah.
Supposedly. Yeah.
I try to meet with the city manager to kind of get my own take on her and her exact thoughts on the police department because I already know at least where the chief stands. I just wanted to talk to her about it.
Don't we
So
all?
she's got to take it back.
All right.
Well, you guys still have time to do like have you guys sent letters? How many people can vote in this town?
Well, there's 22,000 people here, but not that many registered. How many do we have that are registered?
10,012.
Do you have access to?
So 22,000 residents, 10,000 registered to vote. Out of that, how many do you think participate?
There you go.
About 1,500. So do you? This is a political question. So, do you guys think that if out of 22,000 people, in 1,500, let's say you get 100%, do you think that's legitimizes the government. It's less than what?
You said 2,200?
Yeah, well, 22,000, right? 22,000 is the population. And let's just say that 2,000. Let's say 2,000 votes. That's just under 10%. If you have less than 10%, that's if you get 100% of the people to vote. Is it represent? Yeah, is it a representation? Do you think that's legitimate government? If you have less than 10% of the people say, "Hey, I want you to represent me," do you think that's a fair representation?
What gets critical is how many do vote and how many do participate.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
There's your problem.
Yeah.
There's your problem.
How do you
You boil it down to 1,600 votes.
Do you
Right.
guys have do you have addresses of the registered voters?
Yes, we did.
That you can send letters to?
That's
We
right.
do, and we have, and
We have.
I actually, and so did your wife, we also sent out letters to all the mail-in ballots.
Mail-in ballot.
So you can reach out for campaigning, but once the votes are cast, like it's a secret ballot, right? You don't get a list of names that know
How
which
they voted.
who voted for Judy and who voted for Rich.
No.
So then you don't actually know who you're representing, right? that's,
When I joined, I gotta ask, where are you from? Because you have an accent as well.
Oh yeah, I am a man of the world. I have lived in many a place. Currently here,
Where do you live now?
born in Germany,
Where in Germany?
Nuremberg.
Nuremberg.
Yeah,
Where do you live now? In the Navy or Panama
yep,
City?
right here.
Really?
Military family. Yep. Yeah, moved all over the states, some places overseas.
Where's the VA's office in Lynn Haven?
There's a vet center,
Where's
which is
that?
separate than the vet clinic,
Right.
and that's on Minnesota Avenue, 3109. Yeah.
And they gave you a hard time over there.
Oh, not just a hard time. The lady that's depicted on this sign, her name's September Sims. Evidently, she's a counselor. And when I walked in, within 5 seconds, she came in off the street, didn't identify herself, told the lady at the desk not to help me, stole my equipment, which is issued by the VA. That's why my wife put a sticker on here, "Don't touch, it's an assistive device." She stole it and then walked out the building. And then she called the cops on me. Local police showed up, which they don't have jurisdiction because it's federal. And I said, "Hey, do you guys have jurisdiction here?" They're like, the sergeant said he has jurisdiction wherever he goes. Like that's horrifying.
Who said
I
that?
wonder if it was
Sergeant
the
Hamilton.
sergeant you dealt
They
with.
said they had
That's the thing, right?
jurisdiction wherever they go.
That's what, yeah.
The Lynn Haven police
that's-
officer?
Lynn Haven police officer. 4 of them showed up.
Is he correct or incorrect?
He is incorrect,
I know he's
100%.
correct.
Have you reached out to anyone? Anybody, state representatives, anybody?
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I've done congressionals. Talked to Rubio's office. I've talked to the Senate chair on the VA tester. Talked to everybody up and down the chain in the VA. Called Ramey, the chief, the day after, and I was like, "Hey, man, you guys need some training. Like, I'm happy to help you understand how trespass works. I have case law for you." And he goes, "No, we don't need your case law. My guys get training." I'm like, "Well, multiple of your officers told me that they trespass based on your orders, regardless. As long as they get a call and somebody says, 'We want somebody to trespass,' they go and they trespass." I'm like, "They don't do an investigation. They don't look at the legality. They don't look at the case law. They get a call, they say they do it." I'm like,
What did
"That's."
he say to them?
He said that they don't need training. He said that they are trained. I'm like, that's incorrect. Like, clearly you do. And then he tried to say that they didn't trespass me when it's on video. They said, "No, you're trespassing. If you come back, you'll be arrested." So I went back because he said I wasn't trespassed. And I talked to their supervisors and said I wasn't trespassed. I'm like, "Well, that's not actually how the law works." He thinks that you have to actually write it down and put a guy's name for a trespass to work, but that's actually not it. You can give a verbal trespass and say, "Hey, Rich, this is my property. Get off." And if once Rich leaves, if you come back, then now I have to prove the case.
You have a Facebook page?
We're on YouTube under Blind Justice. Yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I'll make some calls and see if there's anybody under blind justice. Let me put
Yep.
that in my notes.
Yep. Yeah. So that's something that maybe you guys can look into if you get into office, Judy and Rich. Like, address some of the issues with the police department.
Oh, that's a big issue.
Yeah. I talked to Ellen. Is it Ellen?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She mentioned that yeah. Yeah. So I got evidence. I've got the email communication and the phone call communication with them, and the video of the incident. So
Well, the thing is, for us too, we're not in charge of hiring and firing.
right, you can make recommendations, though, right?
City manager is in charge of all the hiring and firing.
That's-
And
Do you guys control who is hired as the city manager?
Amy, we hire and fire.
The mayor,
Right.
City manager.
Right. So so you can kind of give directions like, "Hey, we had a public safety meeting or whatever. We got input from the public. We want the change." And
Yep.
yeah, and so then if she doesn't follow your guys' orders, and you say, "Well, you're out." So Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe. Theoretically.
Played out, it doesn't help them at all.
Oh yeah.
Even though the state law reads that this is a no fault
So you go with
hire and
you
fire.
stand for something.
The commissioners hire and fire
Uh
the city manager.
right.
The city manager hires and fires all their staff,
Everybody.
including the police and the fire department.
Does the chief have? Does he hire?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, by the city manager.
Okay, but yeah, so he makes recommendations to the city manager, and she approves officers getting hired and fired.
He was, Chief Brady was hired by our last city manager, Michael White, who
Uh-huh.
was arrested for stealing $5 million.
Yeah.
He'll be in jail pretty soon.
So,
Right.
Yeah. So, and then we were left.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay. Well then, I guess I'll ask the same question, Judy. I asked Rich. Give me your elevator campaign speech.
elevator, I have so much to say.
Condense it for me.
My main thing and my mantra is give the city back to the people.
Okay. So I guess let me help you out with. I'll do a better job as the interviewer. What change do you want to make because you're running against the incumbent, right? So clearly you think something needs to change. So what change do you think that you can make?
Well, number one, when people get up to talk during public commentary, I would never tell them to shut up and
I was going to ask you.
have the police chief
We
take the
know where you
microphone
are.
out of their
That's
hand.
where we are.
Have the police chief take the microphone.
Take the microphone. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's called the First Amendment.
Yes.
That's your right to
Yeah.
speak, whether you agree with it or not.
Right.
There's something else too that this current mayor has done that they did not do before. People are allowed to get up and speak 3 minutes. If they run over, here's their sit down, we're done.
Yeah.
You bye. The previous mayor, Mayor Anderson, she would allow the next person to give you.
Oh, just like they do in Congress. Yeah.
If you want them to.
Or extend your.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's extremely important to listen to the people. It's extremely important to help the people. I ran for the first time in 2017 and was elected as commissioner.
Uh-huh.
And then I ran again in 2021 and was elected again. I think we need to make our priority the people who pay us, the people who pay for everything that goes on here, and that's our citizens.
So if I had to summarize, if I had to boil that down for you, I would say that Judy, if somebody asked me, what does Judy stand for? I would say Judy's campaign slogan could be people over policy.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I serve the people.
All right.
And they call me all the time. We try to deal with their situation. I think I've been telling everybody this whole week, I think it's time for us to stop and step back and reevaluate everything we've got going on.
Yeah.
We'll request for the minute to take office
Yeah.
again. Because there's, all the new people and everything. I think it's past due.
Yeah. Now, this is a question for both of you guys. Public records.
Very good at that.
So I brought it up like a few commission meetings ago, the issue with public records. And then I emailed the mayor and all the sitting commissioners.
What kind of responses?
Only the mayor responded, and he blew me off. He basically said, "Oh, the city attorney answered your question in the meeting," which no, I had multiple questions in my email. Like I had more time to compose my thoughts and type it out and explain like some of the problems with how the city is not following the state law on public records.
Right.
And like there is no requirement for the cities to charge for public records. Like it is an option, but in that option it says the state, from the Attorney General's office, encourages municipalities to not make it for-profit practice. Now, the police department guy Hutton, he told me it's $30 regardless. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm like, well, that's a for-profit thing. That's not a case by case. You're not actually evaluating how much time and all this stuff. You're not following it. Like you just.
Right.
Yeah.
We have more employees hired now since the convener took over than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
We have 5 people in our finance department when one person used to do it.
Right.
And she was a CPA. Now we don't even have a CPA.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you guys interested in trying to shrink the government a little bit and
Oh, yeah.
I
cut?
think we need to take a darn good look at where
Good.
all the money is going.
Yeah.
And we're definitely top heavy on management.
Yep.
Pay.
Yep.
We have firemen that work here for $12 an hour.
Wow.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
For somebody that you're going to call to come and save your life, possibly.
Yeah.
Or keep your house from burning to the ground.
Yeah.
There are priorities that need to be turned around, and our employees here need to know that they're appreciated, and you can't just go around going, "Oh, thank you, you're doing such a great job." You know, thank yous do go a long ways, but they got to feed their families, and that's where it really counts, as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
I think just like right now, this current mayor has made public commentary number 3 right after the pledge and the prayer, and the commissioners haven't even spoke yet. Our people that come, which are very few right now, and I hope to change that drastically.
At least you're live streaming it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. At least it's being live streamed.
I think that they need to. I want to change public commentary back to where it used to be.
Yeah.
7, so that public can talk about the things that the commissioners are speaking about.
Yeah.
Right now, right then. And again, I want to hear from people. I think we work for them. We work for the people. And I just, people have forgotten that. And if the people that are in office right now and are administrators look at the money they spend and
Yeah.
treat it like their own money, they wouldn't be wasting money the way they do.
Well, something else to. I'll wait for that. Motorcycle?
Yeah.
Something else to bring to your attention. I do a lot of disability advocacy, and so far I've only made it to one meeting. I was going to come Tuesday, but they told me that they weren't going to provide a visual interpreter. They didn't the first time, and when they had presentations, I asked, like, hey, are there any maps or anything? And the mayor's response was, yeah, it's on the screen. Like, okay, man. Like, I understand that a lot of people don't know what this means anymore, but like that was pretty ridiculous to me. And visual interpretation is something that exists now. Like, you can go to any Target, any Starbucks, and the company pays for it. I can use a free visual interpreter. They'll read me the menu. They'll tell me what seats are open. They'll tell me where, the condiments are. Like, and cities have that same requirement to be accessible to everybody. And I'm getting nothing but pushback from the admin, and they're telling me that a request has to be in 21 days in advance. I'm like, people don't know that. Like, and that's not reasonable, so it's against the law. But like, yeah. So I'm trying to work with them, and just so that you guys are aware, like, there's a lot of room for improvement. Just a little bit that I've dug in to what's going on in the city, and I've been here that long, so.
When the Taj Mahal is finished, hopefully they will be.
How much is that? Do you guys know how much is being put into that building?
Oh my! I don't even want to answer that question because I don't think.
Too many millions? Like, they're above budget, they're over budget?
Millions.
We
don't even know.
no.
We're told no.
We know.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And when do you guys?
Elections next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. When do you find out the results?
Tuesday at 7.
Okay.
About 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Is it going to be like a special meeting, or is there going to be like
No, they count the votes down at the supervisor of election.
In the county? Okay.
Yeah.
So then, when do you guys actually? If you win, when do you take office, or when do you do your oath?
The very next meeting.
That's it. We should be sworn.
So the next meeting.
Yes.
All right. So that's the meeting.
So be there.
I plan on it. I put my request in today. It's not 21 days in advance, but like, I told them, hey, I want to be there. I want a visual interpreter. I doubt they will make it because they're going to do what they want until we hold them accountable. So
they can do what they want. Is right.
Yeah.
And we hope to change that. I mean, it's all about. It is about the people. I don't know how to make things simple.
Yeah.
They don't seem to understand that, nor do they care.
So again, it's Rich. I forgot your last name, Rich. Rich Walker, running for commissioner for what? Seat 2. And Judy, last name was Judy Tinder for mayor.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And yeah, you'll probably hear from me one way or the other.
Okay. Good with all that information.
All right. Thank you. All right. So a lot of you are probably like, what kind of content is this? Normally I don't talk to people trying to get elected, but it seems like it's their chance to talk and maybe give some insight into what their thinking is about government and what they're going to do or not do and what they want to change. So a little bit of insight there. Not a very busy protest sign, so but I was holding it up nonetheless. I'm in Lynn Haven, Florida. All right. Vote for Tinder. Right. All right. Well, that's it. I don't think any of the other candidates were here. I'm gonna probably cut this and then go get some lunch, and we'll keep you guys posted whenever they email us the receipt and have the body cams ready for pickup, and we'll get that and then have that out to you guys as soon as we can get it out. Stay tuned. I think Mrs. Justice has an update on the vet center case to tide you guys over for the weekend. All right. Peace, everybody, and Deo Presto Liber.